welcome everybody back to the Crimson15 podcast. I am your host, Crimson Sin, my co-host,
Ep16 PCA,
and second co-host,
Native 454.
Today's episode, we're going to be going back to our normal format. We did Spider-Man last time. It was a single topic. Now we're going back to multiple topics that we saw throughout the week.
That's what we do normally, yeah.
Yeah, going back to the normal setup.
Yeah. Yes.
Castlevania, animated series on Netflix. I haven't seen it. N15 PCA saw it.
And I haven't yet.
I saw an episode of it.
Yeah, one episode.
I like to spread them out. I know a lot of people like to watch them in a row. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, the binging crap.
People. I don't like doing that. You should at least wait a day apart. Well, anyways, that's not the main point we're talking about here, but just wanted to net up. I thought it was okay. It was standard fare. I mean, basically, this lady who's a scientist in the village. I'm going to spoil the first episode, or
everyone already binged it anyway.
Yeah, everyone on the internet watched it.
Yeah.
And then basically she goes and finds him, and he's kind of curious, like, well, you're brave and all this, and they end up falling in love, and they get married, basically.
To Dracula, right?
To Dracula. She gets married to Dracula, and she goes, well, I want you to see the world as a man. I don't want you to see it as this,
Is he already a vampire at this point?
Oh, yeah, he's full.
Oh, he's full.
Okay, but so don't transport, don't use your magic. I want you to go travel. So he started traveling, but she stayed behind to do the medicine. Well, then the church came in and said, well, Catholic church, you can clearly see it's a Catholic.
Yes, yeah.
Considered a lunatic, and they burn her at the stake.
Oh.
So he doesn't get there in time to save her, and he finds out, and he gets pissed. So he goes, I'm going to go on this rampage and start killing all the humans.
So the question I have, they didn't kill her for being with Dracula. They killed her for being a scientist, basically.
Yeah, basically she's a heretic, yeah.
Yeah, because she believes, like basic health
Science.
scientists.
It's like the earth revolves around the sun. Burn her!
That whole classic, the scientists, the forward thinkers are always killed by the religious people. Okay, we got it.
Yeah, it's that whole little narrative. But that's what they were pushing. And basically... And you see another character go try to confirm before it does this. I don't know if it's Soma. I don't know when Thomas is the early Thomas. I don't know when Soma comes in to the fore. I don't think he's in the 15th century. I don't think he is.
Yeah, is this Richter or is it?
I'm assuming it's got to be
Trevor
Belmont, because I believe Trevor is in 3,
which is the prequel.
Which is the
But you see Trevor at the end at the bar, but there's another guy that talks to him that knows him and says, Dracula, okay, punish the person who did this to your wife, but don't punish all the humans. That's not right. You're overstepping your bounds. And he told him, he comes and visits him at the burning the sick. He goes, for doing this, you have 1 year to get your first, or after that, I'm coming in and I'm going to go and kill all of you.
So is this Alucard's mom? Or is this
I'm assuming, I don't know.
She had a baby while he was
Well, this is only the first episode. Maybe you'll find out.
Yeah.
We don't know. But then so 1 year they have this big celebration. Nothing's going to happen. All of a sudden, here he comes, and all this blood rain comes in, and all his ghouls come out and start killing everybody. Like, just ripping to pieces. You see why? This is more mature because of the violence, not necessarily nudity. I don't think that's the case from this first episode.
It's super bloody. Even from the trailer, you can see how bloody everything was.
So that's really kind of funny, how he gave him like a year, and everyone's just like, oh, don't worry about it. Like...
there's this crazy guy who lives in this castle. Like, didn't they think?
Well, I mean, especially when he first comes in, you see him in the fire, and he's shaping his face from the fire. At that point, hey, this person's got some powers there. Especially in the 15th century, you would think, oh, this is a demon. You wouldn't think,
And also, by you saying that, because I remember in the dialogue in, I want to say Castlevania 3, they talk about that, because that's why the Belmonts were kind of not respected as much. Is because they never believed in that magic. Like you said, they saw that fire, they're just like, oh, it's nothing, he's just, and then that's where they got lulled into that false security, and that's when Dracula comes back and Trevor has to...
Funny that you mentioned it, because at the very end, they're in the tavern scene when you see, I think it's Trevor, I'm pretty sure it's Trevor, he's in there, and these two guys are talking, and they're disrespecting the Belmonts. They don't like the Belmonts.
Yes.
Oh, that clan, they're so stupid. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. He's hearing this like, oh, my goodness, something's happening
exactly.
in another village. Well, who cares if anything happened to that village? It didn't happen to our village. They don't realize he's going to go all through Europe. That's what he's going to do.
But one thing I like and I dislike about this whole situation is people are like losing their flipping minds. Oh,
yeah, it's a little overreaction.
Yeah. But it's a Konami thing. So I'm kind of glad that people are, I guess, is this Konami's forgiveness? In a weird way, like
hopefully.
Hopefully people start treating Konami like a regular company, not like the worst thing in the universe.
Because they went against Kojima. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
So, but they like this though, which I guess which I'm glad for.
And what I'm hoping for is that this spawns a video game. Please put it on the Nintendo, put it on the Xbox, whoever you got to put it on. Put it on something, because that'd be awesome to play this new reversion of Castlevania with Trevor or whoever Belmont it is and doing all this.
But don't make it 3D.
Yeah, don't make it 3D.
Just make it side-scrolling, please.
Side-scrolling would be perfect.
Make it hard. Do whatever you got to do, but don't make it 3D. It's just make it go. You go from the left to the right side. And I don't care if it's like an exploration, like Symphony of the Night, or it's just straight through like Super Castlevania 4.
Now, one thing I will say, besides you see people overhyping a little bit too much, in fact, it's only 4 episodes. Should be a little longer than that. Yeah. That's really short for a season.
But it got a second season.
Yeah, it's 8 episodes.
Okay, so how long is the episode? So the hour?
They're only half hour.
Oh, really?
So it's just an hour.
So it's a 2 long hour special.
So basically 23 minutes, 24 minutes. So yeah, you're thinking hour and a half, hour 40 minutes.
So it's like a movie almost.
Basically.
So I'm thinking, what if again, and we haven't seen the other episodes, I'm sure everyone else had, but I'm trying to think, so this lady dies, and if she had Alucard, wouldn't it have to be waited another 50, 60 years for him to get old enough to be a man?
You know what? It depends on what lore you go off of, because sometimes a vampire will age if
faster.
Yeah, and then he'll get to like a point of like maturity, and then he'll stay like that forever.
Oh, that's called a convenience plot.
Yes, exactly.
That's called convenience theory.
Yes,
that's what that one's called. But you know, it's interesting. I might check it out. But yeah, I'm glad it did well. I'm glad it got a second season.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would personally, I think that's cool. I would love to see a Konami thing. Give me a Metal Gear Solid. I would love that.
That'll never happen.
Oh, animated.
But there's too much. There's too much story, and like there's a lot of hidden story in Castlevania people don't know about. You can string together the cutscenes from the Metal Gear Solid games, and it's like 15 hours. Almost 20 hours of just dialogue.
I think maybe do better. Maybe then that's a good point of like maybe like having like animatrix like shorts, like
like little mini stories that take place in the Metal Gear
world. How cool would it be if you did the short and it's like the first game, but it's all kind of like weird graphics and stuff, so it's all blocky. Like
that would be cool. Little graphics.
Oh, I was gonna ask you on the Castlevania first episode, was there any Easter eggs that you saw from like the games or anything that you thought like, oh, it's the cross from the game or like?
You know what's funny? Besides I remember some of the items on the walls that you saw when she first entered, you know? Because he is a man of science, too, Dracula. Yes. And he had his bottles and everything, and he had his little potions and everything.
Like a little laboratory.
Laboratories that you see in the games.
Maybe a little bit of like that, because there's the one area in Symphony of the Night where he has all those items and chambers and stuff.
Yeah. Little Easter eggs. I'm sure I could have saw a video.
That weird diamond you can throw and it bounces off the walls. It doesn't do anything.
It's such a weird ability. One of the weakest secondary powers you have in that game. Yeah. You can get item, but... And look, again, that looked cool, but again, that's funny. I'm sure there's someone that's broke down every little frame of this show, and this Easter egg, that Easter egg, you know.
Yeah, frame by frame.
All I know everything, is I need to find one episode where he says he's forever going to hunt the night.
Yeah, I'm going to kill the nighttime. Yeah. That's like, I don't know if you're going to do that one.
I don't that was time from of the day.
The PS2 one, right?
Yeah,
it was one of the 3D ones.
Sorrow, not Sorrow, it's something Laminance.
Yeah, Laminate. Oh yeah, Laminate of Sorrow.
Yeah, there you go. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that was one. I never played that one, but
I did and I beat it. It was a mixed bag of things, but I kind of liked it. I liked that, and also that's supposed to be where the first video game takes place. Is that?
Yeah, he has red hair. The
and then he's trying to become Dracula.
Exactly, and I would, and again, like I said, watch it if you like vampire, stuff, and you like Castlevania. You should give yourself a watch. It was really good for that, if anything else.
Yep, I'm glad it's doing well and it's well received. That's a good thing. When video game stuff like this gets well received and it gets more stuff, more steam rolling, maybe people will go back and play the Castlevania games and give them a chance and rediscover a classic. You know, especially on the Nintendo. So I'm glad that happened.
That's and I'm glad too that it's on Netflix and it's like the first thing you see. So people that initially don't
give it a shot.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. People that are like, I like what's it called, Iron Fist, and I like Luke Cage, and
I'll give this a shot.
Yeah, exactly. They did it, and they're producing it. Why not? That's a good point.
Exactly.
That's a great point.
So moving on to another trailer we just saw for The Tick. It's going to be on Amazon Prime Video, and I remember The Tick from the Fox cartoon back a long time ago. Yeah. And it seems to retain that same kind of quality of The Tick is just like a moron, a big muscle-bound idiot. He's a good heart. He wants to do good things.
Yeah.
He's basically indestructible. and he's not super strong, but stronger, let's say, what would you think, Captain America strong? Maybe a little bit stronger than that.
I would say but his durability.
His durability, Superman level durability, because the bullets don't hurt him or anything.
Yeah, he could hit a rocket launcher.
And from the suit looks great. The guy playing him has, because one of the thing about The Tick was he would like have these G.I. Joe type, kids, it's not, you don't play with electricity near water. Like he would have all these stupid things, one-liners and. They're funny because they're so bad. They're not funny because they're clever. They're funny because the guy delivers like, "Oh, are you kidding me?" Like in the trailer, he's like, "Oh, murdering people, that's not cool."
No kidding. You're not supposed to do that. That's also illegal and moral wrong.
Not because it's not cool. That's the reason why you don't murder people. But it looks fun. Looks funny. This doesn't take itself too seriously like the original. I guess there was original comics and stuff. I have no idea what those are about. So I don't know if they're more adult or not.
From my read, I read a little bit of it. They were slapsticky too, so they were kind of...
And then you got Arthur, which is like a moth person. As I remember in the cartoon, he was the Tick sidekick, and he didn't have any powers. Oh. He's just a guy who would wear a moth costume, and you never see him do anything with it. Like, he doesn't fly, he doesn't have strength or vision or anything. He's just a guy in a suit. And the ongoing gag was he never explained how he got the suit. And he would go to work every day wearing the suit, and then he ends up getting fired, and then he ends up like working with the Tick, and then he would always get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, I'll explain it, and something would happen, and then he would never explain it.
And it's funny about it is, I remember Arthur makes it funny too, is that even in the cartoon he has like a belly. He's out of shape.
Yeah, he's kind of a fatty middle-aged guy.
Yeah, how's this guy a superhero? Like, what's going on here?
But like the Tick always like took him up as like his protege, like, oh, when I'm like a very Batman and Robin type situation, but these guys are both just idiots. And then all the other heroes and villains are just homages to other villains. Like the main gangster guy's name is Chairface.
Yes.
So Scarface. Like, he literally has a chair for a head.
Yeah. And what was his like? I remember watching an episode where
Deflator Mouse. He was one of the heroes.
Yeah, he was like the Batman character, which is French for bad. If no one knows what Deflator Mouse is, and then there was the American Maid, who was supposed to be like a French maid.
Exactly. Which is supposed to be like Wonder Woman-esque. You know,
Wonder Woman and Captain America mixed together in a weird way.
Did she throw her shoe? Wasn't that like
her shoes? Her shoes are a weapon.
Which is funny about the world that we live in now. It would be really weird to see that, you know, that character actually portrayed like it was in the...
Yeah, she was kind of sexy, too.
Yeah, she had shoes to throw.
Yeah,
like
who knows how that would be now.
Because you don't see any of the... You see another hero, but I didn't recognize that hero with the other military guys in the trailer.
I don't think it was the Deflator Mouse. He was skinny. I don't think it was, no.
Yeah, because he looked like a real bad... He was ugly looking. He had the big ears and everything. But looks fun. Again, it's going to have the same villains. I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but it's on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Yeah. The thing is, I could tell from the cartoon was way more slapstick. And then the first series, there was another live-action series before this one.
Yeah, that one didn't do well.
Ago.
Yes.
Didn't do well. It seemed to be more comedy from the show. But this one seems like it's trying to incorporate action from this trailer. More than even the comedy, I would say.
But yeah, because there's big explosions. It's like, because you see, they really showcase his indestructibility. He's getting hit with grenade launchers, and he's literally laughing it off. Yeah. They're shooting him, and it's like nothing to him. Because that was like another ongoing joke. Like, the bad guys are just like, oh, we'll drop a bomb on him. And he's just like, whoa, what was that? That tickled. Nothing can hurt this guy.
Wasn't there an episode, too, where they, like, try to shoot him, like, in this, like, vortex thing, and he somehow still lived through it?
Yeah, like, they're supposed to, like, rip him apart like a black hole, and it just didn't do anything.
And he, like, falls. He's like, oh! Then he falls back to Earth, and boom, just, like...
One of the episodes that really sticks out in my mind was... The guy knew he couldn't beat him, so he baked him into a big loaf of bread. And then he was going to beat him because it was so comfortable. He's like, oh, I'm so comfortable, could sleep forever. But he's like, no, must fight. He's like tearing up this giant loaf of bread, but it's so comforting. I'm like, that's the way he was going to try to beat him, because he knew he couldn't kill him, so he's like, oh, I'll just trap him in this loaf of bread.
Get him in his own kind of like, you know,
so comfortable he won't want to fight him.
And there wasn't there like a female villain called the Ottoman Empire?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was like literally about like making chairs or something.
Yeah, like Ottomans. Like
Ottomans. Not Ottoman Empire that you know from history. No, we're talking about Ottoman Empire. Not the one from the Middle East now.
And I remember the Super Nintendo game.
Oh, it was awful.
It was funny. It was a beat 'em up, but it made fun of beat 'em ups because literally I remember one of those was called The Night of 100,000 Ninjas, and you fight so many ninjas to where like, haha, I get it, it's funny, to the point to where you're angry at the video game because you're like, I don't want to do this.
But it is a really boring game though.
It's just a side-scrolling, just generic side-scroller beat 'em up.
But they do homage to even that video game where they have the moon and they have like the writing from that one guy.
Oh yeah, you try to write his name on the moon. That was like his plot.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone can remember who he was.
Yeah, but like he stopped it like halfway, so just like CH or something. So, I don't know how far they're going to take it in the show, because they show the graphics looked alright.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny, when the graphics look bad, it's on purpose, because it's supposed to be silly and stupid.
Yeah.
So they can get away with literally bad animations and bad, like, because he's falling out the window, and he grabs the American flag so it doesn't hit the ground. It's like all the stupid crap you want. You know, those...
cornball,
the cornball heroes,
or like when the moth's like the glasses don't fit, so it's like all messed up, but it's supposed to be because he's not like this.
Yeah, he's like I don't know where you got this suit.
The only thing is, I know they've done this in both live action series, but he doesn't have his eyes. He's like his bug eyes.
Yeah,
he doesn't have.
You can see his face.
Yeah.
And if I had to say one complaint, his ears, his little antennae move around. And it's a little distracting to my eyes. I want to look at the antennas and not his body.
Yes.
Because they're always like twitching around, which they never did that in the show. Not to my knowledge.
Ever since they did that with Andorians on Enterprise, on Star Trek, with the moving, twitching ears, everyone's got to do them now with the antennae. Yeah. That's like a standard now, it seems like.
And I thought that was part of his suit. Like, I didn't know I
have no idea. He never takes it off.
Yeah, so I don't know if he's really a tick.
That was like another gag where like they're trying to figure out what his secret identity is. So like watching him in the shower and he's still wearing the suit, like he never takes it off. Like, how does he go to the bathroom and stuff? Like, he literally, it's like part of the gag. Funny. He never takes off the suit. So that looks like that could be pretty fun. That could be, I'm not saying it could be a home run, but when the show first came on the Fox, there was no Netflix, nothing like that. And that kind of show is not going to work with mainstream audiences. It can catch fire on the internet, and then they'll get people pique their interest, and then they'll watch it. See, that couldn't happen before, because if you missed episode 1, you're like, I'm not going to want to watch episode 2. But now you can just watch it in any order you want.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, hopefully that does well. It's a fun character. He's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I've always liked the Tick. Always a special place in my heart. I like it. Because it's done in good, honest fun and jest. It's not done to be serious.
Or make fun of people.
Make fun of people, Put down.
So... I know, like, literally, he takes all the jokes onto himself, and when people are making fun of him for being so, like, goofball and everything, he takes it as a compliment, because he doesn't know he's being insulted. So it's kind of fun. He's a fun character who truly believes in good things, but in the most cornball 1950s superhero kind of way.
Well, you think a superhero would be two-dimensional.
Yeah, like from 1940s to the future. Like, I'd be like, yeah.
So, that looks really fun, and I guess Disney is gearing up for the big D20 Expo.
D23.
Yeah, so that's basically, for people who don't know, that's when Disney showcases all their stuff. So back in the day, it would be like all their cartoons and live action stuff. But now, since they have Marvel and Star Wars, they show off a lot of big Marvel stuff and everything. And I guess they have big banners, because they're setting up. It's not going on just yet. But they showed off the Wasp's costume. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like the one at the end of the Ant-Man movie. Remember that?
Especially
it looks a little different. But again, this is the kind of a one singular picture.
Yeah, like we can't really tell. Like the other one kind of looked like a little red, maybe a little bit of that one lady, the Martin ex-girlfriend from Adventure Time, a little bit of that kind of like weird.
Yeah, see, this one looks more like armor. Another one looked kind of a little more sexy.
The one from the clip at the end of the movie looked more like the one that you would see like in like pictures and stuff. This one looks like combat. This one, the one
this actually looks like a fighter pilot.
Yeah, like you would see her fighting that. The other one was like, oh, this is the fancy one when you take a picture with the Avengers. This one's like, okay, I'm ready for fighting.
And I guess they also showed off a big display for Avengers Infinity War, where you see Thanos, and he just like has one knee up and his hands in the air like that, like, and it just looks cool. Thanos is an impressive looking character. He's scary. You don't want to fight this guy, and it's gonna literally it's gonna take the whole Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy to fight this guy. That's how powerful this guy is.
I cannot wait to see that movie.
It looks so cool. Like, just that statue looks so cool.
Yeah, just even the little clips that we've seen from like the trailers and the teasers, and it just shows like
because he hasn't done anything. Thanos is literally sat in a chair, stood up and grabbed the gauntlet. That's all he's done. Literally in all the movies we've seen him. But we just know how powerful he is.
Oh yeah, we know he's
We just want us to be like, he must be so badass that he's not even lifting a finger for these other things because he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's it. Once he gets his Infinity Gauntlet, well, obviously he's gonna have to kill off the Vision because he needs to get
or something needs to happen. Something's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, he's so bad, that all these things keep stopping him from the stones, and he still doesn't and
he doesn't
out.
Get angry or anything because he just basically I'll bide my time.
Like the perfect example of that when you look at the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, when that one guy wanted to use one of the Rohans, destroy that planet. Thanos like, I want to take over the whole universe. You're worried about a planet? He's like,
and he's like, I don't care about your religion. Whatever your stupid, basically to him, is like, your pagan religion. I don't care about that. Just give me my stone.
Bigger stone.
You can take over whatever you want. Just give me back my stone.
Exactly. That tells you how he is so nonchalant about it.
Yeah, and I can't wait because I mean, especially with the Guardians of the Galaxy being in it, Gamora knows what.
Yeah, she knows exactly who Thanos is, and just like, and again, for everyone who saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2, when Nebula's like, oh, I want to go kill Thanos, and Gamora's like, I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if anyone can kill him. Like, she's just like, you know him. You know you're not going to be able to kill this guy. He's just something else. He's like everything about him is so. He's literally probably one of the most powerful villains in all of Marvel. Everything. Yes, with like Galactus and Apocalypse and Onslaught. He's like that.
Because with that glove, with the Infinity Gauntlet, it makes him godlike almost. Like he can.
Even at that point, Franklin Richards have a hard time beating him, and he's way up there in the power food chain.
So. It just kind of sucks that we have it in the Infinity Gauntlet and we don't have Galactus or Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah,
so that's a big part of that storyline. But
Fox, I mean, okay, we know what you haven't done with Fantastic Four. Just give us the bad guys. We don't even want the Fantastic Four. Just give us the bad guys for those movies. I'd be happy with it.
Oh yeah,
but we'll probably find out more over the weekend, and we might even do a mini podcast if it's something really really cool.
Yeah, if it's like a cool trailer.
Actual trailer, we'll do probably.
If it's coming up soon, like I'm sure there might be something, maybe.
But they might be holding off to Comic-Con for that,
maybe
because Comic-Con and the Disney show happen really close together. Yeah. So I'm wondering they might do like still shots at the Disney event and do a trailer at Comic-Con. But also, since Disney also owns Star Wars, they showed off a concept model of what they want the Star Wars land to look like in Disneyland. And I'm sorry, I'm 5 years old again, and I just like seeing Star Wars for the first time, and it's just like, I want to go there. You hear the music, and it's just, you see like the buildings, and it has that very Tatooine kind of, planet look.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And everything's cool, and they show that there's like going to be a 1-to-1 scale, like, life-size Millennium Falcon that you can walk up to, and it's there, and it's physically there. That it's
how big do you think that line's gonna be when they open it up there? Just go Millennium Falcon.
They didn't say if it's like a tour or if it's just a set piece that's there, but I don't care. I just want to be. I just want to be around the Millennium Falcon. Yes. That's just so cool.
I mean, the ability to actually see it and look at it, and they probably won't.
And
want
it's the size that what it really is.
You can touch it; it's there. Like that is so cool. I mean, probably is going to be big signs: "Don't touch the Millennium Falcon," but people are going to do it. People don't want to touch it, look and be inside it.
There's no way. I can't imagine they don't do a thing where you can do a little walkthrough.
Yes,
like that's one of the rides, like a walkthrough thing. It doesn't even have to be a ride. It could be like the
you can walk through. People aren't going to care.
Yeah, like the treehouse thing where you just go up the ramp. The same ramp where they're shooting.
By the Adventureland. You're talking about the big tree.
So it's not really a ride, so to speak. It's like a walking experience.
People aren't going to care. It's the Millennium Falcon. They're going to want to walk around it. They're not going to care if it's a ride or not.
Could you imagine if like they did like broke up groups? If you can be in the turret,
the turret.
Like because that's just so iconic from Star Wars New Hope.
It's 1 in a million, kid.
You can have at that point. You can have Star Tours. You can have all those rides from all around. That's the ride you're going to want. That thing you're going to want to do.
I'm just in love with the whole mystique of the Millennium Falcon. It's such a in all of sci-fi. It's such a unique looking ship.
Yeah,
because it's not symmetrical. Because it has that little thing off to the side. It just makes it so unique, and it's just cool. Just like. To never thought as a kid that, man, how cool would it be to be inside this thing and they're going to actually have one there. I don't know if you can go inside of it, but damn, being standing next to it's good enough for me. If I can
then also I'm excited. That's amazing, but I'm excited for the Cantina. I think that could be fun to see that.
And he's super excited about Avatar Land, he was telling me.
No.
Oh my goodness, never.
See, how about can we delete Avatar Land and just make it Star Wars Land Part 2?
Well, that's in Disney World, so we live out here in the West. So
West Coast.
Yeah. West Coast, so you can do that in Florida all day long.
It just upsets me that they're wasting so much time on that when this is, I guess they say 2019 for Star Wars Land, and it's like, ugh, we got Avatar Land now. Why can't that be Star Wars Land? Why can't that?
I know. I don't know the appeal of that. I mean, I guess it's cool to see blue everything, but
it's just cool to see stormtroopers and stuff walking around Disneyland. And stuff.
I can't wait for it too.
Cool. All the stormtroopers will walk around and stuff. Oh, move along, city.
Yes.
I want to be one of those.
I want to hear the banter between that. I want to see them be stupid.
Like they're back and forth.
I would say that first day is gonna be so crazy. I bet people are already buying tickets when they give a day when it's officially open. Those tickets.
Oh, it's gonna be madhouse.
How cool would it be? You're walking down, right? See a bunch of stormtroopers and got Darth Vader behind them and stuff.
They're doing like a dun, like everyone has to get out of the street and they're like walking. Or they're those red guard guys, those honor guard dudes. Just there's so many cool little things.
And believe me, the thing is, I know Disney's going to hire actors to do it, but they can actually get people to do what they want to do it for free. They do it for free, okay?
Yeah. They would pay Disney to do it.
Just to walk around and stormtroopers. In Disneyland, are you kidding?
And how cool would it be? Like little things that Disney could do. Like imagine if a stormtrooper came up to you and asked you, "Have you seen these droids?"
Yeah. Oh shit, we're looking for these droids.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All I know is that if this gets up and they ever decide to make a Marvel theme park inside Disneyland, I'm never leaving those two areas. Okay, if I go to Disneyland, everything else can just it's fine.
It's just that the history is so rich there, and you notice when they showed up that land and everything, they play the music from the original movies. They're not talking about the prequels. They're not talking about the new films. They're talking about those first 3 films that are episodes 4, 5, and 6. That everyone loves. Those are the ones that have everyone's hearts.
Beloved.
The other ones are good and they're enjoyable. The prequels were just okay films. They weren't amazing. And then, Force Awakens was good. But
Rogue One was alright.
Yeah, Rogue One was alright, but nothing like Empire Strikes Back.
I always feel
nothing
about the Star Wars series is that the prequels needed to happen because they needed to tell story, the lore of Star Wars, where everything came from. And the new ones, we like them because it's new stories. Like, hey, they're continuing the story. But the middle, the original trilogy, it just has everyone's heart because it's like, this is why we love the series to begin with.
Again, New Hope gets a lot of props for what it did originally in the 70s, but again, I don't think as a story it's just great, but Empire.
No,
and it's kind of funny to see what they did. This is becoming why we love the original Star Wars, but just the fact that they didn't have a lot of technology. Though you watch that opening scene in New Hope, and it still looks good today. That's done with practical effects. They actually had the giant models, and they would move the camera over the model to make it look like it's bigger than it is. Exactly. See, now we have computers that do everything that looks great, but something about that original way they did things.
Yeah, the touch of everything and how everything looked real. Like when Boba Fett flew
through
the air, it wasn't like a CG hit.
It was a guy on and they pulled him up on this, with the gaffer
it looks
thing.
good. It doesn't look bad at all. Today I can watch it and be like, wow, that looks great.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's super cool. So I can't wait for that 2019.
Oh my goodness,
I'm taking everyone
because they already have Star Wars stuff at Disneyland. It's going to just get more and more and more and more, and it's going to be just great. It's going to be awesome.
I just can't wait to drink the blue milk.
Yeah. I know how Paul wants those rations that what Ray ate. Those little water things, they look so gross.
No, thank you. I definitely want to do that. But
2.5 rations.
That's so funny. I wouldn't even be willing. This is how much of a Star Wars fan I am. Even if they wanted to turn eventually on to Endor, it wouldn't bother me. Okay, that tells you how much.
Just give it a other things.
Ewoks there. That'd be perfect. I mean, that's how much of a fan I am of it.
So the Disney Expo thing's gonna have more news over the weekend. So we'll have plenty to talk about that. We talked about this for 15 minutes, and they just showed off banners and stuff. They haven't even announced anything, and we were already talking a ton of stuff. Yeah. So that's gonna be cool over the weekend. But time for a it's not bad news. It's just disheartening to me personally that
it's sad.
The new Batman film. First and foremost, it was going to be directed and written by Ben Affleck. Oh, cool! He's going to star in it. He's going to write it. Yeah. Then all this weird stuff about he can't handle it. I'm like, you've written Academy Award-winning films that you directed and starred in, and you can't handle Batman. That's just whatever. Yeah. Then okay, he's going to write it still, but he's not going to direct it. Now it is confirmed that they're not using his script. It's a whole brand new script. The only thing Ben Affleck's going to do is act as Batman.
The thing is, Batman, I feel bad because he's all of us. He's a fan of this, and he's seeing Batman being totally destroyed by Warner Brothers and what they want to do in their version. It's like, he's looking at it like when you're looking at a train wreck, basically, but a metaphoric one, and there's nothing you can do about it. But he's in the wreck itself, and he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, he's just the passenger.
He's the passenger. He can't do anything about it.
So I guess Matt Reeves is the man directing the new Batman film, and I guess he was talking to a podcast interview with MTV, and his exact words when they asked him about it, he said, no, it's a new story. It's just starting again. Which is super weird because it feels like they literally scrapped everything. Like, what did they tell Ben Affleck? Yeah, your script sucks. We're going to do something else. It just seems kind of...
And then you have to act in it, so you have to feel like you're...
And I can understand if Ben Affleck was just this guy, he maybe did one or two things. No, he's won Academy Awards for the things he's done.
Argo, was amazing.
And the town was great.
Yeah.
Very, very good movie.
And he starred in those films, too.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. He knows how to write. So I don't know how he couldn't write a decent Batman film.
Yeah, and like I said, Superman versus Batman, he was the best part of the movie. He portrayed Batman perfectly. And you're telling me,
he did good.
Yeah, and you're telling me that he wouldn't take the same love and care in the script for this movie. Like he does a really good Batman. I think he wouldn't mess it up.
I think. I mean, I don't want to go back to Batman v Superman. I don't seem to bring it up every podcast because how terrible it was. But it seemed like Ben Affleck, while he played a great Batman, but Bruce Wayne, he just doesn't seem to fit it quite.
He's in a really angry Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he's very dark and brooding. He's almost like old man Bruce Wayne.
Batman can be broody, but Bruce Wayne, you want him to be not happy, not like they're doing it just like, whereas I'm cracking jokes. Not that, but at least a little bit more.
Hey, Flash, I just heard that you were a fast guy, and you should turn and look at the camera. I mean, come on, how corny can we get?
Yeah, like I said, if I had to pick the two, I'm of course going with the brooding. I mean, I kind of like that a little bit, but like I said, Bruce Wayne's supposed to be more charismatic.
A little bit, at least have a front of it, at least have an air of it,
Or it's like, haha, and then you can look in his eyes and he's like, oh, he's gonna kill me.
See, and from from the original, I guess it was never confirmed because we've never seen the Ben Affleck script, but apparently Deathstroke was supposed to be the bad guy. Which is a good bad guy for Batman.
Like that.
Because they're both like human bad guys. He's not so super powerful. Like he's just a guy who can kick a lot of butt. And is he immortal?
He just has regeneration.
He's a pretty strong guy. He has some regeneration, but in Arrow, he had this thing called Super Crew that made him like really strong.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna go with that in the movies. I doubt.
But he's basically like a super martial artist. He's very Batman. He's like if Batman was a bad guy, except for he uses guns and stuff too. So that would have been a good bad guy for him. So we don't even know if that's gonna still be the same bad guy. And I guess in that interview too, he said it's gonna be, quote, a very emotional Batman story. Oh my goodness! If there's one thing WB has gotten wrong in all their films, is human emotions.
Yeah,
like they don't know how those work. Wonder Woman, from what I've heard, from you saw the film, it did it the best.
Yes, but they're going to screw it up again.
It just feels like I have no confidence in them doing a very emotional Batman film. How about we do a very good Batman film? How about we just do that? And if there's emotional things, let it come naturally. Don't set out to write an emotional story and then you don't get to it. Just write a good story, and emotions will play a role in that.
Yes, everything will fall into place. If you're, trying to make a superhero with romance and say emotion and all the stuff, if you do a good story, all those things will follow into place.
Yeah. Instead of just putting the ingredients you want to do to make that cake for DC, they're putting all this other stuff in there. That is it right away before they even know what they're doing.
Yeah, they even got the flour and the eggs and the water.
Yeah,
but they got all the icing and all the decorations and everything.
Build the foundation first.
So that's kind of. It's not saying, oh, Ben Affleck wrote it. It's going to be gold, baby. We don't know that, but I would trust the man who's playing the character to write the character good. Why would he write himself a terrible role?
And like I said, with his previous history, he knows what he's doing.
And he knows how to write. And again, like in the town, that ending scene for people who haven't seen the town, that's an emotional scene because basically he's writing the letter to his wife and then explaining the whole plot of the movie. It's like, oh, that's why he did all the things that he did. And it's like that's emotion, but can something like that translate to Batman? Sure, if Ben Affleck was doing it, I trust him because I've seen him do emotional stuff.
And it would have been perfect because with Deathstroke and Batman, they could have put this whole chess match together, and it could have been.
Oh, you're really mean, da da da.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're not so mean, you aren't so different. You can do that whole.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But now we don't know. Everything's like I said. Everything's been torn out apparently, and it's already.
So
fresh.
do you just hypothetically you have Deathstroke in the movies? Do you give him his half orange mask?
Yes.
You give him you.
Arrow he had it. It was perfect. It was
you know what I would do personally? I would never show Deathstroke's face. What I would do is always have him in the shadows, and then when you see him, he's like that half.
See, I never really read him in the comics. Whatever. All my information that I know about Deathstroke comes from the Teen Titans, the cartoon, and he was cool in that show. He was scary. He was brooding. He was calculating, and he had that voice, Robin. Like he just had that because he literally he didn't want to beat Robin. He wanted Robin to join him because he's like, oh, Batman abandoned you. Yeah. I can be your mentor. I can be your real father. That's emotional. See, but is it? There's no Robin in these films,
another
right?
example was the Deathstroke in season 2 of Arrow, which is still my favorite season. He's setting up Olive Queen to take him down, but he's doing it methodically. And he acts like he's trying to be an investor for Olive Queen Satorium, which is the company that he owns. And he comes to his mom's house, and you see the tension. They're like, "Oh my goodness, he's going to start killing everyone!" And it's just like, oh, it just gets you on the edge of the seat
because he's super intelligent.
Yeah, he can work on a higher level.
He's a mercenary. Also, he's had that mercenary ability. He has how to fight. He knows how to kill. He has all that kind
and he's really good at manipulating people.
He's a manipulator.
Very good.
He's not Lex Luthor level of manipulation, but he's pretty dang good at it. And that's what I really loved about this Deathstroke character, because you can make him, even though in his costume he's running around killing people and it's very fantasy, he can be a real villain in the real world. That's how manipulative this guy is. So, but we may never get that. We will. Hopefully someone leaks that script so we can read and see in our minds what this could have been.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's good. I don't know. We come down on DC films. I do a lot. But I want good Batman films. I want good Justice League films. I want good films for comic book characters because I don't want the bubble to burst and we lose all of that we gained.
Exactly. And also, those classic core DC characters, they have good stories in them. Like I said, I don't know what happened with Green Lantern, but Green Lantern has a great story in it. It's just, it wasn't, the movie was, I don't know what happened in the movie. The comic books have great stories. I don't know.
The thing is, again, and they don't have the ability, like something like Aquaman, just take that for example. DC doesn't have the ability to make an Aquaman movie. Marvel, MCU could probably do it. They don't have it.
Very.
And you see the similarities with Thor in that kind of sense. See, they can make fun Thor movies. They wouldn't know what to do with Aquaman.
Or at least, I don't know.
Like, Ant-Man was a good film.
Yeah,
exactly. And did it blow my mind like Civil War?
Solid.
But it was fun. See, you get that same caliber hero. What would be a caliber hero of Ant-Man on the DC side?
Mr. Gold, maybe?
Yeah, the Red Tornado guy.
Red Tornado.
Deadman.
Lobo.
Yeah, those they would take that and it would be a terrible movie.
Yeah, could you imagine like how, let's say, Guardians of the Galaxy, but with Lobo? How fun that would have been, like Lobo just being stupid and goofy, and he has to fight
he's a
all
bounty
these
hunter guy.
Yeah, but they wouldn't know how to do that.
Exactly.
They're an idiot.
Yeah, it's just.
See, that's why I think that's why they're throwing Aquaman, Flash, and Cyborg in the JL movie. So it's all, oh look, if you don't like these guys, you still have Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly. But I think after the success of Wonder Woman, they're just going to go back down. So tell everyone, don't get excited yet, guys. We still got these movies coming out here, so. It's not listed.
There was a funny meme. I don't know if I have it, but if I post it, if I find it, and try to give credit to whoever made it. But it just shows it's like, oh, after Wonder Woman, DC is not going to make a bad movie, and it just shows like a guy smoking a cigarette. That's where you be wrong, kid. He flicks the cigarette at the guy. That's where you be wrong, kid. Because you can always screw it up. You can always
Warner Brothers hold my drink.
Yeah,
challenge
accepted.
We're holding the proverbial for the other shoe to fall right now. That's what we're waiting for, because that's what it is with DC.
So, down on Batman, it needs some good news, and that wasn't good news. It may not be the worst news ever, but it's like, oh, geez, you had a good writer. It's not like he wasn't a good writer.
It's like another nail in the coffin.
It's a lateral move. You can't say, oh, man, that's a good thing. They got rid of that. That Ben Affleck, that young man doesn't know how to write. Like, it's so stupid. There's no argument against it. Unless Ben Affleck said, you know what, he came to the guy, my script sucks, don't use it. Yeah, but I doubt that's what happened.
I think Ben Affleck would say that. I think
but again, then you have to admit that he sucks. I don't think he wants to do that.
Well, you know what? He's been honest before, a little bit, like when he did Geely. He went on networks and he said, yeah, this is bad. Like
Paycheck. Literally did a movie called Paycheck. And it's like, you made this movie for a paycheck. Literally, the joke was in the title. That's but, funny. Again, we all want a good Batman film. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm a Marvel champion. I want everything DC does sucks. No, I want good stuff.
Yeah, and they have it in them. You just got to find someone to pull it out of them.
Again, a solo Batman film. Since the Dark Knight trilogy, there hasn't really been a bad one. I didn't really enjoy The Dark Knight Rises as much as I did the other films, but it wasn't bad. No, I wouldn't say, oh, that movie was terrible. So, I want a good film. It should be good, but again, it's another prequel to everything.
Exactly.
So, we know whatever happens, Batman wins.
Yeah, of course.
But I mean, I think that would happen anyways, but at the end, we know he really is. Literally, we know how he wins. That's why I don't like... Prequels are just becoming kind of my pet peeve
It's super safe. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
That's why Star Trek is doing it. That's why Star Wars does it.
Yeah.
That's why everyone does it. At least now Star Wars is moving forward, but everything else is always, oh, it's in the past, it's in the past.
Yeah, let's keep going further back.
Exactly.
So, with that Batman news and other TV Marvel news, they casted the whole team for the new Warriors, and full disclosure, the only character I know in this whole entire team is Squirrel Girl, and that's only because Marvel puts her out there and everything.
Yes.
All those other characters, I don't even know their names. I'm looking at their comic book counterparts, and I couldn't... Glowy guy, masked dude. I have no idea.
Yes, exactly. Assassin, glowy dude,
big guy, red chick.
This is the first time I've ever seen a Marvel property that's being live action where I don't know any of the characters besides Squirrel Girl. I don't know any of them. I don't. I'm coming in with open eyes. I have no idea. So
this is going to be a TV show. And from what I say right here, network ordered a 30-minute episode slated for 2018. So next year sometime. It's supposed to be like a comedy? A comedy action film?
Yeah. I'm assuming.
From what I keep saying, film, TV series. Yeah. And I guess the whole controversy, the girl in the Verizon commercials is going to play Squirrel Girl. Traditionally, she's not like, oh, she's a buxom babe. She's very cute. Yes, she has a cute face and a cute voice and a cute personality, and she's bubbly, and that's why I like my Squirrel Girl. Should be that girl who has this power to control squirrels, and then she wants to be a hero because she looks at the Captain America and Thor and the Avengers and like, I can be a hero too. I got a power, and she so happens to beat bad guys in the most ridiculous ways.
Yes, I mean, how many times can you like, squirrels,
Well, she took down Galactus
and Doctor Doom, so she's taken down some literally super ultra rated, super mega
we're talking
villains.
Fantastic Four together can be Doctor Doom, but yeah,
But that's what makes her character so fun and
endearing.
Yeah, it's endearing is because she's trying her best and she's trying to do good. Yeah. That's what I like about Squirrel. All these other people, I have no idea who they are. I'll throw a pic up there of all the actors, and they look like they match their.
Particularly the guy wearing the blue, kind of like with the scalp on there.
He looks like a traditional superhero.
He looks like something you would see from that comic series Invincible by Image. Doesn't he have that kind of look to him?
He's got a very distinct look of that.
So
he'd be in that.
This is another Marvel TV series, and we have, if we're counting all the Netflix shows.
Oh my goodness!
So I guess the Defenders is going to be basically all of those, Luke Cage, all that combined into one. So they're going to still have their own series.
Yes, afterwards they're going to.
So they're going to have Defenders, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones,
Punisher,
Iron Fist, Punisher, this new Warriors. And then on the Fox side of it, we have one that was on FX is really good. Legion. Legion's getting this another series. Then we have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And Humans.
The Inhumans. We have Runaways. I ran out of fingers on my hands. Runaways. And then that other Fox one where we saw the trailer for it. Look at the girl, looked like she was Blink, the Asian girl.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what that one was called. There's so many of them. There's over 10 of them. My goodness, that's a lot of TV shows.
I know that you said New Mutants already, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one more. That's that other one where it's based in the X-Men universe because they talk about Magneto and the Brotherhood of Mutants. So I don't know if it takes place after X3 or when it falls in the timeline, but they do talk about Xavier. And
we'll put it on us.
Yeah, we'll find it again.
Afterwards.
But we did talk about it in an earlier podcast.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of Marvel TV shows, and we're at the point to where if you're a normal working guy, you can only watch maybe 4 of these. 5 if you're really dedicated, so you're going to miss out on 5 other shows.
Oh, very. And if you're a fan buying the boxes, like buying the whole series, that's going to be a lot of money.
Well, the thing is, because most fans are going to want to stick with the MCU stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's connected to the movies.
And casual too will do that.
And something this new Warriors looks like it could be fun. They had no trailer or anything, just like casting. So when it comes to comedy, you got to be funny. See, I smiled and laughed during The Tick because they got their comedy right. And how much comedy, how much action, how much drama, how much of that do you put into this show?
Yeah, and that's
and do you connect it to the MCU, or do you make it to where this exists? It's in the MCU, but it's so far removed that it might as well not be in the MCU. Yeah. It's like, are they going to make references to Spider-Man and Thor?
I think they're going to do like they did in Powerless. And it's not a good example because it got canceled. But like how they talk about the superheroes, but they never show them. They're never part of it. In any significant way, or
like I said, or like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they'll talk about characters, and they'll tell this guy's from Asgard. Well, Asgard's from Thor, and
the thing is, with Marvel TV shows and Marvel comics, the comics are completely removed from the TV shows,
which is a good thing.
It's called The Gifted. That's the other one we're talking about with the mutants.
The one that talks about Magneto.
Yeah, and that's one's called The Gifted. So that's another one that's going to actually be on Fox. And
that's crazy.
So there's a lot of shows, but. It's going back to the comics. The Marvel Comics is in a bad spot. They again, I'm not going to get. There's lots of people who cover the political stuff and everything. Basically, Marvel made the decision to be politically active in their comics, and it's reflecting in their sales. AKA, the sales are garbage. Yes. The characters are written terribly because they focus on getting to the goal of a political view and not the goal of telling a good story.
Yes, and that always
turns out wrong.
Yeah, always disaster.
So it looks like the TV shows have been and the movies are completely removed from all that, because anyone with the comics, Captain America's a Nazi. Everyone who's good is a bad guy, and everyone's a bad guy is a misunderstood good guy. I'm just glad that hopefully that the TV shows have
kept
it away. They sneak it in here and there, like when we talked about Spider-Man: Homecoming. They sneak it in just a little tiny bits, little things, and that's. It's fine as long as you can, because Squirrel Girl in the comics is a very politically active character. Keep her cute, funny, and endearing in the show. We don't need her spouting off about this and spouting off about that, because we don't need that in a TV show. Because guess what? I will literally not watch any of it.
And also, and you got to have a good taste about it. If you're gonna put it in, put it lightly. Make it something not so subtle, and that's always worked in the end. People understand, like, oh, I see what you did there.
Or you show both sides of an issue. If you want to go political, again, like they always like South Park always did a good job of that.
Yeah,
where they will attack a topic, then at the end they'll flip it on you, like, oh, okay, you see it on both sides, like, oh, I understand how this person feels.
I think they do it from they do it from a place of hypocrisy. There's hypocrisy on both sides in a lot of things, and they're trying to show all the whole.
Like that one episode. Sorry, it's probably off topic, but I think it was about tobacco smoking and how like it showed how bad it is, right? Because tobacco's bad, but then also showed that it's a rich history with Native Americans and how they created it, and it's like it shows like it is part of America, but it is bad, so it's like it sucks.
Yeah, you know? And the thing is, that's how you handle a hot topic issue.
Yes.
But the thing is, Marvel doesn't seem to understand that there's no such thing as another side. We're right, you're wrong. And no one wants to be talked down to.
No.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to be told, you're stupid, you're racist, you're this, you're that, just because you believe in a certain thing. Well, what the heck?
Exactly. And you let the viewer make the decision. Yeah. Not the show, not the director, whoever it is. You make the decision at home. It's like, hey, we gave you both sides, you believe what you want.
Exactly.
And again, but the comics and the TV shows and the movies have been doing a very good job of comics. They're going so far into political town that they're almost lost. They're going to have to do something where the world gets wiped.
Exactly.
It's so funny when someone was bringing up how like Cable is like a good character in this current Marvel comics line. Like he can save them over. Do something where there's like a phase shift and just all these characters disappear.
And then he comes out like he does Marvel too. That's enough for now. Afterwards, after he does, and his arm gets up.
And he's gonna shine cannon.
All he has to say is like, you know what? I saved all you guys. You don't even know it.
And it's just because like the Cloak and Dagger, that looks like another one where it's like, okay, here we go. Let's get the messages. Let's get the Hollywood point of view on things.
I don't know if I'm going to see it. I don't think I'm going to. I mean, to me, it just doesn't appeal to me. I'm just not interested in seeing it.
And they're like weird they're like teenagers, and it's like I don't want to see, weird teenagers rubbing up on each other. It's just super weird to me. I don't want to watch that. It's not my thing.
We're starting into territory where we need to pull back a little bit. And also another thing, we were talking about all these Marvel shows. Do you count the new Daredevil show? I'm not Daredevil, but I mean Deadpool, because it is a cartoon, but it's more mature.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. But see, that's probably going to be its own crazy thing.
That's what I was thinking,
its own separate crazy thing.
But I know it's animated, so I don't know if you want to count it, but since it's supposed to be more mature...
See, since it's animated, because I know there's all kinds of Disney animated Marvel things. And
we can mention those, but I thought they were taking a different bent with it. I don't know if that makes a difference.
No, I don't think it's connected to anything, no.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's even connected to the movies.
No.
I think it's literally its own crazy thing, which is probably going to fail. I don't think people rated R. They say cuss words. No one cares.
I think exactly like you were saying. And I think it might be Deadpool oversaturation. I think at that point you're going to start to you got to pull back, guys.
Yeah, it'll finally start tapering off
a little bit. Yeah,
it's just super strange that we're getting so many things, and then that's not even counting that we counted over a dozen Marvel shows. It's not even counting the DC shows.
Oh, my kid!
So if we count all comic book shows, we're probably like in 24 different shows.
Arrows, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, Black Bolt, Gotham. That's 6 right there.
And there's probably ones in the works we don't even know about.
Exactly.
Like what the Teen Titans has been rumored for how many years now?
For a while.
So there's a lot of stuff, and I hope we don't hit that bubble where
Young Justice. That's a cartoon though, but
it just seems to be so much stuff going on in the world of comics, and that's not even. And then there's stuff like Hellboy and things like that are not Marvel or DC that are still. Looks like that's going to get a reboot or something like that. So I don't know. There's a lot of comic books out there.
To me personally, I've never been a Hellboy guy. I just don't like it. I consider him like a poor man's Spawn. That's how I see him. I'd
rather watch Spawn.
Exactly.
I'd rather watch Spawn than Hellboy. But there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. But at the same time, I'm cautiously optimistic about some of these shows. Again, if you just stick to the stories, and if your character's a fun-loving character, let them be fun-loving. Don't try to interject all this other weird, crazy stuff because you want to say your message.
And like my other brother here was saying, make it subtle.
If you're gonna do it subtle. I think Spider-Man: Homecoming didn't do it very subtle, but it was still very small.
Small, exactly.
Yeah, if you can't be subtle, be small-handed. Small scale. And if you can't be handsome, at least you can be handy.
Exactly.
So just you can be good for something, okay?
Exactly, because we're not stupid. As the audience, we know when something you're gonna like if it's something against nature. If you see something, then it's like, okay, we get it. We know where you're going with this. Do it subtle, so we can be like, oh, okay, at least it wasn't.
Yeah,
the whole
don't
movie.
Have characters give you lectures.
Exactly.
Even if it's something I agree with, it's like, okay, interesting, but I want to get back to the show. Okay, that's a point you made, but want to get back to the show.
Like conservative or liberal or left or right, whatever it is, don't bash it over people's heads. It never works.
Exactly.
So I don't say like, oh, I only hate the things that Marvel's saying. No, if Marvel was like super, if their politics were super on the other side, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's so good, that's so great. No, don't bash messages over people's heads. It's never a good thing.
And people want to watch these things for entertainment.
Yeah,
escape. They do.
I want to escape.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to be preached to. They got the networks for that. They don't need to watch.
With everything going on in the world, I want to
escapism.
I want to sit here and see superheroes fight bad guys.
I want to see the Inhumans have a giant dog that can teleport people. I want to see that. I don't want to see other things. I want to see that.
And I want to see Arrow freaking kick.
I want to see the. I want to see the Tick just be his lovable dummy self and do the right thing in the end and just be as completely stupid as possible about it.
We haven't decided if we're going to see the first 2 Inhumans episodes at the theater.
Yeah, I guess they're going to be an IMAX thingy. So the closest IMAX is about a 40-minute drive.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see if we have time and money, and because it's not a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
So that's everything. No video game news, really. We didn't talk about the
no, because this is kind of the dead time for video games.
Destiny 2 is having their beta.
Splatoon 2's coming out.
Splatoon 2. I can't wait for that.
They said there was a way to get on Destiny 2 early.
Oh, you can preload it now, like the demo. You basically it downloads everything but like 1% of it. So when the demo goes live, you can just download that 1%.
Yeah, which is fine, but I can wait.
I didn't pre-order. Yeah. I'll play it when it becomes the open beta, and I'll probably play it a little bit, but I'm not excited.
Yeah.
But video games, I just beat Max Payne on the Xbox One. Great game. Like many games, I feel like the creators of the games are getting to the point, oh god, we got to do a boss battle. Last boss battle. You basically fight 2 cars and that's the end of the game.
Oh.
And it had a really good fighting system, very Batman-ish. So you can combo block and hit. And it's very like heavy because when Max picks up a guy and slams him down. So you end up fighting the main boss. Basically, you blow up his car, he gets in another car, you blow up that car, and it's the end of the game.
Oh.
And it's like, well, I didn't even get to fight him. I thought I wanted to fist fight him. And he just ended up blowing up his car, and then Max just drives away. And that's like a sad ending because everyone dies. All the good guys basically all die, but that's Mad Max.
So you see, the ending from the movie was so much better than that.
Well, because this looks like it's a prequel to the first. It's a prequel to Beyond the Thunderdome.
So that's such a great movie.
Yeah. So it's a prequel to that.
Oh, it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah, all the Mad Max films are fun.
Yeah.
Even the newest one was way more visceral.
But it was still good.
It was still good. But the other ones just have that, Mel Gibson. It just has that grittiness to it that I just love.
I remember the opener for part 2 is so gritty and awesome because it shows like his history is like he was a cop and then all of his world went to heck.
Yeah, his family got killed.
And then he's just like driving and he just has that dead
and he just has the coolest flipping muscle car ever. And it gets all like, slapped together, but it has a big old engine and
yeah, it's really cool.
And this game has all of that. Basically, you lose your car in the beginning, and then you have to rebuild it. And the guy's building, he's like, it needs to be a V8. Like, it can't be a V6, it has to be a V8. It just has all that. And if you love that whole world, this game's great. You'll be disappointed in the ending just because the final boss fight isn't much of a fight. You just throw 3 explosive spears.
Okay, they asked you since you played the game, what's the worst ending boss fight? That one or Final Fantasy X boss fight?
They're both pretty bad. Yeah, I wanted more. Because I thought, okay, I made sure to save all my shotgun rounds. Like, okay, I'm going to need to fight this guy, and I didn't even use it at all. Because you don't fight him, you just blow up his car. And so with that done, I gave up on Prey. I just every time I started up, I was looking at my controller. I looked at the mini map. I'm like, I gave up. You beat me. Prey defeated me, and I gave up on it. But I did get Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac. The basic HD remake of Final Fantasy 12 on the PS4, and I'm about like 8 hours in, and it's all coming back to me. I love that. No, the best feature of all time. You hit the left bumper, you do 4 times speed boost. So you can just run around the map and just gain experience and grind. And if you know your character's strong enough, you're not going to die. So you just keep...
You just tapping
Yeah, and you can set your gambit to auto attack. So you can just run around the map and just clear house.
So pretty fast then.
Yeah, so because you can do like in turbo mode.
Yeah,
every RPG needs turbo mode.
Yeah, what's the gap limit on HP? And now I know, is it spheres? Is it like
no, basically you pick up. See, they added a class system. So you basically there's 12 different classes, each one for the Zodiac. You pick a class, and in the class, every enemy you kill, you get a job point. And then you unlock skills that way. And you can literally, if you fight enough enemies, you can unlock every single skill.
For every character. Cool.
So, like, there's, like, Samurai, Archer, White Mage, Black.
Like tactics.
Yeah, so it's, basically because, for those who don't know, Final Fantasy 12 is based off of the Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics world on the GBA. when you play that game, it's almost silly how it's all set up because basically it's all the dream of a crippled kid.
From a book.
And he basically read a book called Final Fantasy. He's like, oh, I wish there was a world where there were judges that made sure no one got treated unfairly. So in this world, there's literally these powerful judges. And it's kind of silly in the game, but in Final Fantasy 12, it's completely serious. But it has the judges and all the things that were in place in the other game, but it's more a serious world. So you have like political intrigue, and there's no real love story, which I really thought was different in this game.
Yeah, it was more political. Yeah,
because basically this big powerful country comes in and just beats the crap out of this other one. But they kind of take over, but then you kind of see their side of it because they're kind of like law and order.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, we sent this guy here to take over your city, but he's an elected official. Yeah. Once you guys become citizens of the Empire, you can vote for whoever you want.
Exactly. It's like kind of like, I don't know if we like this or not. Yeah, because
you seem nice, but they're kind of jerks.
Well, that's the whole thing about the whole tactics world. You even have Egwin's story, which is it's part of Final Fantasy and its own little thing.
There's two different tactics worlds. There's the Final Fantasy Tactics that was on the PlayStation, but the Final Fantasy Advanced Tactics is a different world.
Yeah.
So there's literally all these crazy different... They share similarities, but it's a totally different offshoot or whatever. But it's a fun game if you've never played it. It's different from 15 and all those other games. It's a cool story. My biggest complaint is the character designs are pretty good. The clothing designs, okay, the women are kind of wearing nothing in this game. Princess Ash is wearing the world's micro mini skirt. It's literally probably 3 inches long.
It's like a scarf.
Yeah, it's a scarf. And I'm thinking to myself, going into battle, you think you'd wear some pants. There's no panty shots or anything, but she's wearing such a short skirt. Or her just walking, her skirt would flip up.
Well, I don't know. It was one of those comedy people that I saw a video once on YouTube where it's a woman playing an RPG, you know, as opposed to that. And the guy gets the armor, first level armor, it's all big, and she gets it. You sure you want the armor? And gets this little bikini. She goes, what the heck is this? You know, why didn't they get that? It's kind of funny and poignant.
And like old RPGs that you see in newer RPGs, like when you buy armor, like your character doesn't change.
Yeah,
which is stupid because since it takes place like in a desert world, a lot of people aren't wearing much clothes. Even the male characters are very bare chested, and it's just that's the only complaint I have. But that's just a visual thing. Yeah. But I love all the characters. Balthier is my favorite. He's just so cool.
Oh, the gun guy.
Yeah, the gun guy, and then his Fran, his bunny girl. These girls, these bunny women look like the Playboy bunny brought to life. Because they literally have the big, tall, long ears. They're really tall and lanky, and they wear next to nothing.
And they have the little tiny tails.
Yeah, their little poof tails, and they have like, the little noses and everything.
It's so funny because like whenever you do like fantasy and all this stuff, they look so human. It's like, why are they even bunnies at that point? They have ears, that's it. And
pretty much. And they're really tall. And she has like a really funny accent. But it's almost like she has like she's always talking about the mist as like the mystical force in this world. But she's always the mist. And her voice but it makes it she's exotic. Yes. Like, oh, she's from this land of all these bugs. Because again, in this world, if you mate with one of these women, their babies are always come out female, and they're always these bunny people. Then there's a race that's all male. They're like these ogre-looking dudes. So every baby that they have is always an ogre. Like, it's super weird. It's just because, again, they all came from the mind of a kid.
Yeah.
So all that stuff, that's why it's like that. But it's a cool world. There's lots of stuff to do. The enemies are fun. The battle system's quick and fast. Tons of customization. I would recommend it to anyone who's never played Final Fantasy 12. This remake is a great remake. It brings back everything. The only thing, the stuff I wish it would have brought back more of is like, I want 100% voice acting. There's only voice acting in key scenes, and everything else is just reading. That brings you back to PS2 days. Yeah, you get to read a whole lot. A lot of reading. But the Super Boost is great, so I'm probably going to play this one to completion again.
Yeah, Super Boost.
So that's where I'm buried in video game-wise. What are you playing?
And then for me, I've been playing some old games on the Xbox One. I just got done beating Comic Zone, which is a great Sega Genesis game. Great. Because, like, the art style, you're in this comic book, your name is, like, Sketch.
You are as 90s as 90s can be. You're the most 90s guy.
This epic mullet, like, ponytail thing.
The little round glasses.
Yes, with the rat, and you're like, I mean, yeah, you're right out of, like, a Gap commercial or whatever.
You're so...
I'm telling you, he can get a YouTube page right here, my brother right here, you know, Nafta544, and literally, like, go in and, like, destroy, like, these games and these records. He's so
I don't
good.
have the patience anymore.
I know he does. I don't know how he does it. I don't know.
It's funny because with Comic Zone, it's a lot of trial and error. You got because every panel is different. Like sometimes there'll be regular enemies. Sometimes the page will catch on fire because the guy
you're taking too long.
Yeah, and then it's weird. Every stage you beat, you get to continue. So there's, I believe, 3 stages or 4. So you have, like, at the end of the game, you have 3 tries to beat it at the end. And of course, like, there's a lot of secret stuff, secret passages, which you need your rat. You have a pet rat that helps you.
Yeah, you can sniff out the manhole thing, and it can go down instead of across.
Exactly, and they'll find special weapons for you in the page because it's a comic book. So when you're going to the stages, you can rip the pages, and it's like
like you literally jump from panel to panel, like you swing out.
Exactly.
Artistically, it was great, and it never saw a sequel.
Never.
And I think it just came out of a time that everyone loved the first level. Then once you get to the second level, you can't just button mash. You have to strategize.
Yes.
Okay, use your back kick, grab the pipes, use your long kick, and keep a distance. Because if you try to just go in and mash it, you'll just get killed.
Exactly.
Well, I remember the part where like you even get on that little hook and you're hitting the drum things that blow up on you and you lose a lot of power. So you can't do that. Like little things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you take a big hit, you pretty much just reset the game.
Yeah, and it's like, just to describe that part my brother was talking about, there's a lot of strategy to get past that part. Like, it's crazy. You have to, don't use your bomb that you have on you. You tear a page from the comic book, throw a paper airplane, which just sounds weird.
Just super damage.
And just super damage, and then you can climb across. Then when you're on the ropes, throw the bomb at the guy that's hitting you, then jump down.
Yeah, see, I've never...
Yeah, you have to try. There's a lot of trial and error, but once you figure out the patterns, even though there's randomness in the game, you know how to beat each enemy. You can get through to the end. It's just that first go around is such a...
Ooh.
It's a doozy.
It's a doozy.
It's tough.
But also, one more thing I like about the game is that when you beat a boss, he says something really corny.
Yeah,
like,
very 90s superhero corniness.
Because like the first one, he's like, you push a barrel into him and you can light him on fire, and he's like, "Oh, you're fired." I'm like, "Oh, it's so lame."
It's so stupid.
Or you fight this one guy, he's like, he's a schoolmaster guy, and he's like, you beat him, he's like, "Oh, good lesson, man. Too bad you had to drop out."
That's what makes it great.
Yeah, exactly.
And as for me, actually, I learned this today because I have like a big library of basketball games. I wish I could get all of them from the 360, and I have the ability to download them off my queue on my Xbox One. I guess they released the Street Fighter 4 arcade today. They were talking about Legend also was, yeah. And I already bought it before because, well, actually I got it for free before, so I downloaded it and then already had the upgrade with Ultra, so now I have all the characters now from like Street Fighter 4, and that's the only way I can play Street Fighter because I can't play 5, so it's my only
it's a PS4.
options. I don't have a PS4
or PC is the only two ways you can play it.
Exactly.
But I'm still just kind of. I'm glad Final Fantasy 12 came out because that will be because I would look at my Xbox, I look at my PS4. But now I got Final Fantasy 12. I can play that.
That's
now.
a good couple weeks for me.
That's a couple thing to push me through to new games coming out.
Yeah, and for me, I can't wait to complete playing ARMS. I just got it for my Nintendo Switch, and that's going to keep me busy for a little bit. I can't wait to play that.
Yeah, that's cool. And yeah, exactly like I said, for me, I'm just glad Street Fighter's on there, and that's why I follow Major Nelson, because he's like, oh yeah, this is the new game to talk about.
Every week or so, there seems to be about a batch of games that come back to back.
Exactly.
Come on, X-Men and Ninja Turtles in time, please.
Oh,
see, the problem though is the licensing.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying, though. Please, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. Yeah. Also, Splatoon 2 comes out.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely get that game when it comes out. I'm going to play it like a heck out of it, so you'll hear about my review about that.
Yeah, it's just I played it a couple of times, the original one. It's pretty fun, but it's not Overwatch. It's it's its own little thing.
But if you only have a Nintendo, though,
it's your best choice.
And also, and if you want fun to play, usually it's funny because every time I talk to anyone about Splatoon, it's always like you play with your wife and your kids, and it's a game that you can just sit there and have total fun.
Have you seen the new trailer? The two new announcer
girls?
Can Nintendo make these girls any more sexy? It's super weird.
The one, it's funny.
The black girl.
The black girl, she's
got booty. She got some boobies.
Yes.
And it's like, she's looking, but they're like that squishy, super deformed look.
Yes,
and it's
it's very gross because in the game they explain none of these creatures have bones, so they can literally go, and it's like creepy looking, but
they can turn those little squid versions of themselves.
And the funny thing is, you say about her, she actually is
octopus, right?
Yeah, which was
they're
the
sworn enemies.
Yeah, but now they coexist together, which is really cool because if you read the story, the back lore, they had a war with each other, and now they're trying to be like kind of like neutral.
Yeah, even though like exactly what you're saying, it's kind of on the edge, which is okay, I guess, considering, I guess. But the problem is Nintendo keeps going on this road trying to do super sexy with the characters. They're going to lose that reputation of being a family-friendly console.
ARMS, for example.
Speaking of ARMS, yes.
You got a character who has super booty yoga pants?
Yes, she's an actress, I believe. I don't remember her name.
An adult actress?
No, not an adult actress. I believe she's an actress, and she, yes, has very tight pants. I'm talking something that...
With things like Bayonetta, and then Zero Suit Samus, and even in the Twilight, in Breath of the Wild, Princess Zelda has rocking some yoga pants.
Yes.
And it's like, it's not the end of the world. I'm not like, I'm a prude. No, women must, I'm not getting very, 18th century on you.
Can't show the ankle.
But Nintendo had a reputation.
Yeah,
and then it's just, I don't want to see Princess Peach dressed like that. Yes. And that looks like that's something that may or may not have.
Peaches already have a little bit. Remember
the racing suit?
Yeah, the racing suit was.
But it wasn't. She didn't have big old bubble butt like these other girls do. But that's just Nintendo. I don't know. It's just.
I know Nintendo thinks it's funny and like it's funny because it's not.
Still in Japan, boobies are funny. That's still a thing in Japan where that's considered like a joke. No, guys, that's weird. That makes you a pervert. That doesn't make you. You're not a funny person. You're just a pervert.
Well, but that's
Japanese. That's Japanese
culture.
Japanese sensibilities that they're allowed to put Mario in a sombrero and a poncho and dancing the Mexican hat dance, and it's okay. No one says anything.
Again, I don't think it's fine, but let an American company do that and see what happens.
Yeah. Ooh, you're racist. But somehow Japan can just get away with anything. Especially Nintendo can literally do anything.
Yeah, Nintendo, I mean, they can come out with anything. It could be even rated super, super violent. And all they have to do is be like, it's our adult game.
They can give Mario a big old bubble butt.
Exactly. And he can dance the song for us.
Yeah, he can dance the
forbidden dance.
The forbidden dance.
Yep.
But, that's, we have, next week is going to be probably, we'll have tons of Disney stuff coming out of the D23 or whatever. Because that goes on, starts tomorrow, I think, officially. So we'll have plenty to talk about next week with that.
Yep.
Anything upcoming games? Still just waiting for games coming out in a year from now?
Yeah, pretty much. And like I said, Splatoon 2, that's about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sorry, I know down the pipe a couple months from now it's Cuphead, but I mean, they say the price might be $20. That's what I heard.
And in a side thing, I guess Conan O'Brien did a thing with Cuphead. You know that Clueless Gamer?
Yeah.
But that's so dead. It's not funny anymore.
You know what? It changed because when he would do his review of the game, it was funny. But now he's doing it with celebrities.
He did it with Kate Upton on this one. Yeah. And I guess the whole joke was that Kate Upton was better at the game than he was. But that's like an old stereotype. Oh, girls don't play games. Only boys can play games.
And then she's actually better. Yeah, it's kind of a cliche.
And I liked it better when he had his nerd friend on there because he knew about games. And he's just like making fun of him like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Like if you watch the first ones he did, like the Tomb Raider one, the Master Chief one, those ones are so funny.
They're so good.
Because I don't think they were scripted.
No.
These other ones seem to be a little scripted. And it's just like, the scripted jokes aren't as funny as the ones that are just off the cuff.
Exactly. Like the one he did about Smash Brothers was so funny because the guy's explaining every Nintendo character in the game. He's like, okay, real quick, who's the third president of the United States? And the guy didn't know. And he's like, you know Kirby and all these other characters.
Speaking of, you just brought up Smash Brothers. It just came to my mind. I guess Disney is on their Disney XD channel. They're starting to do video game stuff, and they're actually going to air the Smash Brothers finals at EVO on Disney Channel.
That's cool.
They're going to show Smash Brothers and maybe something else because in the commercial they showed Overwatch stuff. So because they're trying to get into that esports thing.
Yeah, showing it. That's kind of cool.
So Disney, I'm like, hey, you know what? They get that in there because kids like Smash, but they're not going to show Street Fighter or anything.
Yeah, no,
they're not going to show Injustice or Mortal Kombat X. That'd be funny. Disney XD, blah,
ripping someone's spine out.
Maybe first of all, it's DC, but even at that, it wouldn't be so bad. But they wouldn't show Mortal Kombat 10.
Speaking, when we're talking about just character designs, was it Evo that banned costumes from certain characters because they said it was too distracting?
I believe
was that Evo? So they basically said you can't play certain female characters with certain costumes because it's distracting to the other opponent.
You know what?
They played the game so many times, I don't think they even noticed it.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things. But I want to why because they want to televise these.
That's
things.
That's the real reason. That's the real reason.
Oh, and speaking of Evo, little cool hint. There's going to be, if people get a chance to go there, it's going to be Dragon Ball Z demo.
Yeah, there's going to be Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I can't wait to that game. We talked about that.
That's going to be cool.
And and people are so excited for that game, and they're gonna.
They announced a full roster, but I didn't read it.
Is it the complete full roster? They keep updating it. There's
exactly.
Updated roster. But speaking of Overwatch, I guess they started their official league, and they're gonna do it like a real sports teams. Like they're gonna do city based. So there's a New York Overwatch team, an LA Overwatch team, an Orlando Overwatch team. So then they're gonna have like leagues. And they're gonna have seasons and playoffs.
Well, hopefully
that's I guess it's cool.
The funny thing is, if they come in our small little town, then you guys have a shot to get in there.
Yeah, just our neighborhood. Maybe I can get in. Well, but these guys, they play games for a living.
I hope it works.
Chicago, New York, forget it. You're not getting on that. No way in heck.
I hope it works.
And they need people to capital to back it up.
Because that's the problem. I feel like I don't want it to be like them trying so hard. You know, or no pun intended, overreaching. But because like I've seen stuff like this happen before, and it doesn't click.
But I think from what I would surmise about the whole thing is like things about Rush. I think games like that could work well if you explain the premise and people can see it. Okay, it's not as easy to watch on TV as a fighting game, but I think people will still get it.
Yeah, it's like you shot the guy, you killed him.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's not like when you're doing League of Legends, like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, League of Legends.
What is this?
Are you winning? Are you losing? See, in Overwatch, that guy shot that other dude. A red skull popped up. Okay, that means he died. Okay, I get that.
They're moving the payloads. That means they're getting closer to the end. I can see that.
As long as you explain it, and I think people will get it. It's not so complicated.
As long as they don't play it up like.
Get too excited.
Or I want to say, like, make it like the XFL. Remember, they try to, like, add drama over the camera in the locker room. And
this team doesn't like this team.
Yeah, like, as long as they don't try to make stupid crap up.
And also don't try to make stupid lingo. Like, I know you try to make lingo, like...
There's lingo in these games, like, you know, the death ball and the meta and things that people don't understand what those words mean, like the average person. But if it plays on Disney XD and kids see it and they get excited about it and they tell their parents about it and they're like, oh, watch this thing with me, maybe it has a chance.
I agree.
If anything can do it, it's going to be Blizzard.
Yeah,
they can make it happen. They can make it happen because the Major League Gaming stuff has been going on. It's been on ESPN now and then, but Disney Channel's huge for something like Smash Brothers. It's going to be huge. There are people who are like, whoa, you can make money doing this?
Yeah, and you got Smash Brothers. Dude, think about all the other games they can have. They can have the Pokken tournament on there. They can have Splatoon on there. ARMS. That's a lot of big tournaments that they can have since they're having Smash Brothers.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to do... I don't know how far they're taking this Overwatch thing. Are they going to have, like... signing contracts and free agents and the whole shebang.
You're just gonna have a team, and they're probably just gonna have sponsors. I'm pretty guessing they're not.
Could you imagine buying
a draft that you could in high school?
I know we don't ever talk about sports, but I remember I think 6 months ago the Dallas Cowboys bought a team. So sports.
So they have the Dallas Star in the back. Bam.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones is holding a bucket of money in the back.
I got two big old.
We don't talk about what our favorite teams are in sports, but let's just say I don't mind the Cowboys.
So that could be cool. I think it's good for video games to be more accepting, and more people can see it, especially on something like Disney. And the thing about Overwatch is, even though they're shooting each other, there's no blood. There's no guts. You know, the only thing I could say was like someone like Widowmaker's a little sexy, but it's such a fast-paced game, you're really not going to see that.
And also, you can always, like, Disney can always say, hey, make sure every player...
using these type of skins and stuff.
Don't litter in the skin-tight latex,
Yeah. Because, again, another character who has super booty is freaking Widowmaker.
Yes, like...
Someone did the pixel. This is just completely... I guess one of the costumes, her butt's a little bit bigger. Like, he literally, like, broke it down to pixels. I'm like, oh my goodness, guy. You're gonna measure the pixels? But yeah, like, in one of these costumes, her butt's just a little bit bigger. Yeah. So that's the one he picks.
That's funny.
I'm like, you're so pathetic.
That's funny, though. That's funny.
But, yeah, I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to top of your head?
Thinking about it, I think that was interesting too, and like how, like you said, all the different series you talked about earlier with the Marvel
Netflix
DC. It's just so many. Hopefully, it's not an overwrought, and people are just are tuning it out.
And then if something truly amazing comes out, but there's so many things out that people don't even give it a chance.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Like another superhero thing.
Because like you said, Powerless died.
Yeah. And I watched every episode. I love this show, but they didn't catch on. In the end, they don't make shows for me. They make shows for everybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the ratings.
It has to make money.
Yeah, exactly.
You wake up, need to make money.
Yeah. Wake up, Marvel, need to make money.
So, get a bright future, but it's also dubious because we're starting to get saturation here.
Yes.
This water balloon, it's gonna pop eventually, and I don't want it to pop. And then you start getting terrible direct-to-DVD versions of Iron Man and just crappy, terrible things. Jesus, I don't like thinking about it. I don't want to see it. It's a sad day.
I don't know if it was Spielberg or someone famous said earlier too, saying that comic book movies and TV shows will eventually die off like the Western died off. But again, that lasted a while. That lasted another 20 years. I'd be happy with that 20, 30 years of comic books, but I don't think that's going to be the case.
But when it does, I hope it goes out with the bang.
But I'm hoping that people see, because you have things like The Handmaid's Wives and all this stuff that's like super gritty and disgusting and just
a horrible
gross,
alternate reality.
Just super gross shows that are just about like terrible things like, assaulting people and just terrible things. Then people could turn and look at Spider-Man Homecoming like, oh, I smiled and I laughed and I had fun. So I think there might always be a place for escapism, because people are going to do the whole, what's that show that's popular, the zombie one? Fear the Walking Dead. So gritty, so just makes your stomach turn. I want escapism. I want to look to the greater and the better and what we could be.
They stopped production from this season, but I never watched it because I don't care.
Yeah.
For some reason, I didn't even read the article, but they were talking about that.
I vaguely know the comic book, and that's it. Vaguely.
Yeah,
by vaguely, I mean I know it exists.
It always is interesting to see a series where it's dismal and dark, and it doesn't seem like anyone wins.
But everyone's doing it.
But yeah, everyone's doing it, and it is nice to have a change of pace and see that shining hero that's trying to stand up for something that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's and I'm hoping that Marvel, or even just superhero movies in general, can always be that light and that, thing of like, oh, yeah, there's all these really gritty anti-hero people, but yet there's that superhero show that I like to
there's
watch.
The Captain America type character from the movies, the MCU Captain America, where even when everyone was telling him, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, he knew he was right, and he stood up for what was right.
Exactly.
And I think there always will be a place. Will we be getting all these movies that we're getting now in 20 years? No, but hopefully there's always a place for...
Exactly.
Heroes
it might die off. Like, we probably wouldn't get Black Panther or Ant-Man, but there will always hopefully be that core set of heroes that we always see.
So, again, I think, like I said, bright future, but the path is getting a little windy. The sun's still up.
Yeah, dark clouds.
Still little clouds here and there, spotty clouds, but no thunder, rain.
3 years from now, 4 years from now.
We'll talk then. Yeah. We'll talk then. So, I think we're good. I have pretty much, we went through everything I think we needed to talk about this week.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to talk about.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, so that's going to wrap up this week's episode. I've been your host, Crimson15.
And 15 PCA.
And Nate Tip 454.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.